They got me good. Okay, perfect. All right, everyone, good evening. It is 7:04 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order. It's February 4th, 2025. This is a regular meeting of the full City Council. We are live in City Council chambers at City Hall. We're also being recorded on Zoom, and our friends at Holyoke Media will be live streaming this as well, and it is being translated into Spanish, so thank you to our friends at Holyoke Media. And the clerk will call the roll.
Anderson Burgos?
Here.
Bartley?
Here.
Devine? Here. Givner?
Here.
Graney?
Here.
Jordan?
Here.
McGrath Smith?
Here.
Murphy Ramboletti?
Here.
Ocasio? Here. Israel Rivera?
Here.
Jenny Rivera?
Here.
Sullivan?
Here.
Bacon?
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America.
And the City Council.
All righty. So we don't have any public hearings tonight, but we do have a few folks signed up for public comment. If you are new at public comment, you're just going to want to state your name and address into the record, and I will be keeping track of time. Everyone has 2 minutes. And I brought this back because I saw the Charter and Rules meeting, and we should have a clock up here for now. I would like to get a better clock, but there is a clock. And I don't want to interrupt you, but be mindful, and I'll let you know when the 2 minutes are up. And that goes for folks on Zoom, if there's anyone on Zoom tonight. So first up, I have Beth Strikars, 25 Woodland. Come on up, Beth.
Okay, so you said my name, Beth Strikars,
Oh,
25 Woodland Street.
Thank you. Yeah, make sure you speak into the
Yes.
mic.
I know when I'm watching, I always say, why aren't they talking in that microphone?
It's easy to forget.
Okay, so this is a follow-up from the email we sent, actually Carrie and I, my neighbors, sent to you folks last week. So it voiced our concerns with the USA International Sports Complex and what's going on as far as the lack of information. We're kind of frustrated with it, seeing it's going to impact our neighborhood, Ward 3, which is a densely populated neighborhood of single-family and multifamily houses. But I spoke to the planning board. I didn't get much information there. I spoke to Andrew Melendez with the USA International. I didn't get much information there. I got a plan of the parcels of land that they were going to take, but that's it. And since then, I've gotten no other information. So we're wondering what's going on with that. But here's a question I have. They bought 1.85 acres that abuts Woodland Street. They paid $70,000 for it in September of 2024. So they bought that. There's intent there. They've got 2 parcels of land that are under contract on Whiting Farms Road. So the intent is there to build something, but yet we don't have any information. I'd like to know where the feasibility study is. Do they have one? Site plans, according to Aaron Vega, there aren't any site plans. What's going on with that? Now, my major concerns with this is the funding. Where are they going to get the money from? Where is it coming from? Is it going to come from city tax incentives or private investors? Also, this is going to be in phases. I think from 50 million to 100 million. What happens if they run out of money? Are we going to be stuck with a big box, 140,000 square foot big box, unfinished, in the back of Woodland Street? What's going to happen with that? Also, are they going to cut the trees down and just leave them? So that's one concern. Another major concern is the drainage issues on Woodland Street. We've had the DPW and the city knows about the drainage issues.
We're at time.
We've had about, I'm sorry?
We're at 2 minutes.
All right, okay, I'm at 2 minutes. All right, well, I didn't finish, sorry, but thank you for, if anybody wants to talk to me about this, I would be more than happy to discuss this.
Madam Chair,
Thank
point
you.
of order.
Sure.
Could we, with the council's permission, allow the resident to speak for 1 more minute?
Second.
Sure. Motion's been made and seconded to allow to suspend the rules and allow public comment to extend for another minute.
So
Go
moved.
Thank you.
All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. I'll just take 1 more minute. So drainage issues, we petitioned for a catch basin on Woodland Street. We didn't get it last year. Thank God we didn't get a lot of rain or snow. But the DPW, if you contact them, they know the problems. It's been going on for decades. I just did an upgrade on my sump pump and drainage system, $7,000. Everybody on Woodland Street, I think, has a sump pump. So that's a huge issue with us. So in closing, I'm just going to ask or request, respectfully request, that the city councilors do diligence on this, investigate what's going on, what's happening. This is an enormous undertaking. I mean, an enormous undertaking that's going to come into Ward 3 that I'm really concerned about. And I feel, and the meeting we had with about 40 people from Ward 3, they all indicated that they're not interested in having this complex come to our...
And we're at time.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Alrighty, up next I have Jordana O'Connell. No, maybe not, I'm sorry. Is O'Connell your last? Okay,
Yes, thank you.
perfect.
Hello, I'm Jordana O'Connell. I live at 56 Woodland Street. I am opposed to this Olympic-style sports complex. The proposal to build this Olympic-style indoor sports arena is backed by politically connected figures, and its aim is to secure both federal and state funding, which raises significant concerns for me. While the project envisions a global scope, the lack of communication with the residents of the surrounding neighborhood, who will be most directly impacted, is a major issue. There has been little to no effort made by Cesar Ruiz and the USA International Sports Complex to engage with or inform the community of their plans. This lack of transparency and communication calls into question whether this process has been handled in good faith. We have multiple sports complexes in our area, Northampton, Chicopee, and Westfield. So this is almost a redundant situation. I don't think this is a good plan for Holyoke. I stand in opposition to the proposed indoor complex for several reasons. Once again, this is a densely residential area. This will increase traffic and parking issues for the neighborhood and the surrounding area. Whiting Farms Road is obviously already heavily populated and has significant travel, as well as Northampton Street. Increased noise pollution, that is going to affect the neighborhoods, impacting the quality of life for those surrounding and living around that facility. Decreased property values, the added congestion and noise is going to deter potential home buyers, and therefore lowering property values in the area. And rezoning, residential zoning is typically intended to prioritize housing and community spaces. And introducing this scope, this commercial facility, is going to alter the neighborhood character immensely. This project threatens to negatively impact my largest investment in Holyoke, my home, and many others. I urge you to reconsider how this plan will affect our neighborhood and to engage with the residents more openly before moving forward with any significant change. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I have Libby Hernandez, 245 Walnut Street. Next.
Thank you. And also, Madam Chair, President, there's another resident here that wanted to sign up, but the chart is over there. I can start, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Libby Hernandez, 245 Walnut Street, here in Holyoke, and I am here today to speak, and I want to thank my counselor, Patty Devine, for introducing this order again with the backyard hens in Holyoke. It's not only a great thing to do in Holyoke, but it's a way of sustainability. It allows people that have smaller lots, less than 5 acres, to be able to have backyard hens, to have fresh eggs, meaning that the prices of eggs have skyrocketed high. This would be a great time to introduce this. I know that this was attempted at during COVID in 2021, and it was voted down. But now with a new leadership that we have, and maybe the Board of Health joining us in this effort, we can make this happen. It also creates an educational component for our children to correlate the growing of foods and taking care of hens in their backyards and bringing that to their tables. So that's a really great component to it, as well as adding to all the initiatives that we have in Holyoke. This would be great. We do have other towns that are successfully doing this, Springfield, Chicopee, and I'm sure that here in Holyoke we can join and make history and show people that we can also have and take care of backyard hens, like in a lot like mine. I live in Ward 4. It's a very dense area, and there's a lot of my constituents that would like to participate in this. So I thank this body of government.
We're at time.
And, thank you.
Thank you. Perfect. And then last, I have Jose Gonzalez, 139 Hillside. So in case you missed it, you have 2 minutes, and just state your name and address into the record before you start.
Okay. Jose Gonzalez, 139 Hillside. I have a couple of things. With the chickens, I think it'd be great if you would allow people to have some food sustainability. And the complaints that I've heard from people are those Puerto Ricans and their dirty chickens, and they're gonna make a mess. And if we make a mess, deal with it then. Let the Board of Health deal with it. But for the most part, that's all uninformed bias. So as a taxpayer, I would appreciate it if you would mind your own business. And if there's a problem in the future, deal with it then. But me and my 3 kids would love to have chickens. We would love to have eggs. The chickens are cute. And if we feel like it, we can butcher one and eat it. Like, it's beautiful. It's an easy way to store them. The other thing is there was an election recently done pretty randomly, and I would have preferred to have mail-in ballots sent to us and been better informed about it, instead of have a long-term position be affected so largely and quickly and almost in private without really being informed. That didn't really feel good to us. So we would rather have mail-in ballots for public elections and more input. And the other thing is if you don't enforce the parking ban and don't plow at any point after you don't enforce the parking ban, people like my wife are gonna slip and end up in the ER and end up missing work, and we're gonna have to rearrange our whole life and be pretty pissed off at the whole situation. Like, it's not equitable for us, for you to not enforce it and then to not plow any of the other following days that the road is clear, and to wait until all these people are showing up in the ER all over town. Like, I'm sure I'm not the only person you've heard it from, but this is terrible. People, like, we're missing work. They're gonna have long-term health issues. Like, and this is not more equitable. So like those are
And
that's
we're
all
at
the
time.
stuff. Thank you. for
Thank
your
you.
time.
We do have someone on Zoom. Mega Hernandez. If you just want to, hi. If you just want to state your name and address into the record, and I will give you a heads up since you're on Zoom. I'll give you like a 30-second heads up when that time comes up. Okay.
Okay. My name is Mega Hernandez. I live on 245 Walnut Street, and I'm here to support the backyard hem proposal filed by our city councilor, Patty Devine. Hey everyone, thanks for letting me speak. I want to talk about why Holyoke should allow backyard hens. It's a simple, affordable way to help families deal with high food prices, food insecurity, and sustainability. Egg prices have skyrocketed and fresh food is getting harder to afford. Many of families in Holyoke struggle with food insecurity, and a few hens could make a huge difference by providing a steady supply of fresh, healthy eggs without relying on expensive grocery stores. Plus, raising hens is a way more sustainable way of, it's just more sustainable than buying store-bought eggs. Hens eat food scraps, reduce waste, and their eggs don't come with all the pollution from mass production and transportation. Backyard hens aren't just about food. They also teach kids responsibility, hard work, and where our food really comes from. Learning how to care for animals and produce food is a fundamental life skill that shouldn't be limited to people with 2 acres or more of land. Families with smaller backyards should have this opportunity too. Other cities like Springfield and Northampton already allow backyard hens,
30
and they manage
seconds.
just fine. Hens are quiet, quieter than dogs, and they don't smell if properly cared for. With the right rules in place, concerns about noise and cleanliness wouldn't be an issue. At the end of the day, this is about giving people in Holyoke more control over their food, saving money, and making fresh food more accessible. It's good for families, good for the environment, and good for our community. I hope you'll support this. Thank you.
Perfect timing. Thank you. Perfect. Looks like that's it for public comment. Thank you everyone for showing up. Before we start this meeting, I would like to have a moment of silence for 2 really awesome people that have recently passed away. Ron Dietrich with the auxiliary police, great man who gave a lot of his time and service to our city. And David Gadare, the president and CEO of Mass Hire Holyoke. I'm a board member. I've been a board member of Mass Hire for about 10 years, and that will be a very big void in our community. So is there anyone else I'm forgetting? I hope not. Okay. So a moment of silence, please. Thank you. All right, this evening, doing anything with one, keeping that late on the table? I haven't heard otherwise, so. Item 2,
Madam President,
Councilor Devine.
can we take this off the table and refer it to the auditor?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to take item 2 off the table and refer to the auditor. I'll briefly do an abridged version of the order. It's the Committee on Finance, to whom was referred an order for a transfer of $48,826.15 from many different line items to other line items, and the motion was to send back to auditor.
Right.
Anything else? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Oh, wait. Okay, item 3.
Can we take up item 3 and 4 together, please?
Motion was made to suspend the rules and take up items 3 and 4 together as a package.
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so item 3 and 4 are both the settlement agreement by and between the City of Holyoke and the Holyoke Professional Supervisors Association. Item 4 is just the redlined version, I believe.
Motion to
Madam
receive them both.
Hold on one second. Counselor Devine,
Yeah, motion to reject the committee report.
is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to reject the committee report. Under discussion?
No, just, we had this before, and so I'm doing it again.
Okay. Counselor Jordan.
Whether we approve it or reject it, these are just documents sent to us. This just came along with the package, the operative document being the transfer. These are just housekeeping. These are them sending us a copy of documents. Personally, I think they should just be received.
I think that's what we usually do for contracts is receive them
Exactly.
So
So
that would be for number 4.
for 3 and 4.
3 and 4, it's just two
So-
versions of the same thing. So I would just say we receive 3 and 4.
Which is receive, adopt, I mean.
My motion was going to be to receive and adopt the contract on number 4.
Okay, so that motion was made and seconded. So all those in favor
Aye.
Of receiving them?
of receiving?
Yeah, of receiving. We don't adopt them.
Well,
we
you
have no
can't,
say.
you're right. I can clarify that. We don't adopt contracts, we just receive them. Do you want to? So the motion
It's really to receive them.
is, that's correct. Is all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right. Item 5 is from Mayor Garcia. It's a letter appointing David Owen of 12 Mason Road to serve as a member of the Historic Commission.
Send to public service. Second.
Motion's made and seconded to send to public service. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 6 is from Mayor Garcia appointing Beverlyn Blanchard of 46 St. Colby Drive to serve as a member of the Library Board of Directors.
Receive and refer to public service?
Receive and refer to public service. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item 7 from the mayor, reappointing Brenna Levitin of 48 Vernon Street to serve as a member of the Library Board of Directors.
Approve.
Suspend the rules and approve and confirm the appointment?
Motion has been made and seconded to suspend the rules and approve the appointment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. 8 is from Mayor Garcia and Superintendent Soto, a joint statement affirming the rights of immigrants.
Motion to receive.
Motion to receive.
Could we send
Counselor
a
Jordan?
copy? Yes, Madam President, could we send a copy, please, to the Joint Committee on Schools and City Council on this topic and another order that I
I
have
was
on
going to say
it?
that there is
It's gonna be
another,
on the
do you want
agenda.
to take it as a,
Sure, if
those as a
that's okay
package?
with you, yeah, we could do that. So that would be item number, boom, 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 boom. Where are we here? What am I not saying? Is it number 36? Oh,
35.
35, yeah. So motion to suspend the rules to take up 35 with this item and
Second.
send them both to the Joint Committee?
motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules and take items 8 and 35 together as a package and send to the joint committee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item 9 is from the city clerk and our administrative assistant, the minutes from the January 21st meeting.
Receive and adopt?
Any discussion or corrections or anything? Okay, receive and adopt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 10 is from City Solicitor Lisa Ball, legal opinion on votes and transfer requests.
Receive?
Motion to receive. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 11 is from the Executive Director of the Retirement Board, notice of retirement meeting.
Motion to receive.
And refer a copy to the mayor.
Motion to receive and refer a copy to the mayor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Under discussion,
I was
Councilor
just going to say,
Jordan.
Madam President, my understanding is once the retirement board approves it, the mayor would then have to approve it, and if he approves it, it comes into us.
Okay.
I believe that's the
It
process.
says no action needed by the city council.
My understanding is if it has a dollar implication, my understanding is, because this came in before, and we had approved it before the mayor had approved it, and I don't know if the mayor approved it. So I'm just saying, this might be a rerun movie from a prior fiscal year. So
That
they might want to
would
just
explain.
double check. I think it needs the mayor's approval to come to us first.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Item 12 is from Alicia Zoller, the CDBG allocation spreadsheet. DGR?
Yep. Motion, DGR.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item 13 is from Sean Sheedy, maintenance.
Sorry.
Yeah, Councilor Devine.
If we could suspend the necessary rules and add items 60, 61, 62, 63, and 64, and send that all to finance.
Second.
So, motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules and take items 13, 60, 61, 62, 63, and 64,
Yep.
and refer to finance.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Got it. Item 14 is from Sean Mangiano, the School Committee Finance Subcommittee. What would the will of the body like to do with this? Councilor McGrath-Smith?
I'm wondering if this is the same chart that's hard to see here, so it's really duplicated.
Oh, that's actually the one that I had filed, mea culpa. I wanted this kindly to go to the joint committee because we're going to have a discussion. This, counselors, is a chart, very helpful, that I received from them relative to the relative physical condition, if you will, of all the public school buildings and their administrative offices. So you might want to check that out in your leisure. It's item 14, yep.
To the joint.
So the
We could receive and send to joint committee.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to receive and send to the joint school city council committee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 15 is from the Office of the Governor, Public Settlements Policy.
Motion to receive and send to the ordinance committee, and if we could suspend the rules, I would like to, the compendium to this is order number 39, that I would like to send to ordinance as well, Madam President.
Second.
Or motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules and take item 15 and 39 together as a package and send to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, item 16 is a communication from Harry Montalvo, President of Board of Directors of Greater, that's 16 and 17?
duplication.
Be received.
16 and, is there a motion to take these as a package?
So moved.
Thank you. 16 and 17 are a letter from the Chamber Board of Directors President. And I'm sorry, someone made a
To
motion.
receive.
Motion to receive. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item 18 is from Mary Monahan, Chair of the Board of Public Works, letter to Council, TSS, and BOD.
I'm not aware of her wanting, I don't know if she spoke to the Chair of Finance. Did she want to come in and talk about these, or this is just informational?
I think it's just informational.
Okay, receive. Motion to receive both.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to receive item 18. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And 19 is also from Mary Monahan, Chair of the Board of Public Works, follow-up to funding requests for levee repairs.
Receive.
Yeah,
Motion.
receive it.
Second.
Motion to receive. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And 20 is from the Fire Commission Board, the meeting minutes from their December meeting.
Motion to receive.
Motion's been made to receive. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 21 is the minutes from the Redevelopment Authority meeting from November 13th and 20th.
Be received.
Motion to receive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Quick updates from me, President's report. I won't forget this time. Okay. There's a couple flag raisings coming up. The Black History Month flag raising is Wednesday, February 12th at 4:30 p.m. Right here in front of City Hall. That'll be followed by a storytelling program at the Holyoke Library at 6 p.m. The Irish flag raising is going to be on Sunday, February 23rd at about 2:15 p.m. at the JFK Memorial, which is at the intersection of Appleton and Sycamore. There was an announcement that I think Jeffrey circulated, thank you, Jeffrey, that February 26th, the city's going to be hosting the first of two public meetings to discuss a plan for wayfinding and signage. It's at the Holyoke Community College Culinary Institute, 164 Ray Street. The public is invited to attend. It's at 5:30. Does anyone have anything else want to add? Councilor Bartley?
Yes, I just want to confirm that I did deliver the proclamation to the Holyoke veterans, and they were very appreciative, and the granddaughter is very appreciative.
Thank you. Anyone else? Alrighty, that's it from me. Okay, reports of committees. Item 22, the Committee on Ordinance, to whom was referred an order that the city create the position of Municipal Hearings Officer to hear appeals by offenders of the state building code, and that a stipend be determined for said position. Councilor Rivera?
Yes. So item 22 was recommended to be adopted 2-1. We had a couple different conversations and meetings on it, and we were able to land on a particular language that's in front of you now around allowing it up to $2,500 with regards to the stipend. They presented on the reasonings for with regards to this and the different ways that we were able to possibly utilize the $2,500 stipend. Doesn't necessarily have to be a position that is a funded position that's within the, like, creating a whole new position. At the end of the day, we already have someone that's kind of doing this work on the side of fire and is trying to possibly wedding that that position with this one to make sure that we are addressing some of the issues and also making it easier on the taxpayer, right? When instead of having to go to court on a regular basis, like we are now at this point, they will have a middle person that they can actually deal with instead of actually having to pay for a lawyer to go to court. This makes it easier and it's more cost effective. If there's anything else anyone wants to add with regards to the committee, Councilor Bacon, feel free.
Councilor Bacon.
Thank you. So while I was initially opposed to this as seeing it as adding a new position, in consideration of all the different information that people brought before us and in the interest of local citizens being able to access, I think, a more rapid response when they have a disagreement with something the nature of a fine that they've received. And I do appreciate the willingness of the committee to recommend this stipend forward as they did. So I will be voting in favor of this tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Graney.
Yeah, just quickly to Councilor Rivera, is this a temporary position or permanent?
No, it's part-time. It's not, I wouldn't say temporary in the sense that it's only happening for now. I think this is something that will be happening now on, but it's not a permanent position as to like you'll be paying a whole salary and health insurance and all the other stuff attached to it, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Counselor Bartley.
Yeah, I'm going to ask a rhetorical question, then I'm going to make a motion. So there's no term on here. So when does it start? When does it end? Does it go, once you're appointed, are you appointed forever? And then what's the rationale? The mayor shall appoint the officer without confirmation by the city council. Why is that specifically laid out? So I guess I'll make a motion. I don't know if you want to hear from the law department or whatever, but I mean, there should be some kind of a term appointed for a length of time of 2 years, 3 years, so the committee didn't do that. And then there's, and maybe it wasn't suggested by the law department either. They're the ones that wanted it. And then, so the building commissioner, she wanted it too. So I think there should be a term placed on this. You can't leave a position like this open-ended. Now, I guess I don't have a problem with the mayor appointing, although it's very specific. The mayor shall appoint without confirmation by the city council. Again, I don't know why in the world we wouldn't want to have somebody come before this body with such an important position. I mean, I'll let that go, but I think I'm going to make a motion that, here's my motion, that we add some kind of a term, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 years to this, whatever we normally do. I don't know what that is, but I think it's 3 years, seems like a normal. So that'll be my motion. My motion will be that, my motion will be that the party will be, the person who be appointed will be appointed for a term of no more than 3 years.
Second.
Okay, so the motion was made and seconded to amend the language so that there is a 3-year term. But I'll open it up for discussion, and I had Councilor Graney first.
Yeah, generally, that's what I was kind of alluding to, that there should be a start and finish. So Councilor Bartley's amendment answered my question, and so did Councilor Rivera. So I got all the information I need, so I'm in favor of it.
Okay, so Councilor Rivera, you had your hand up?
Yes, I'm not against that. I think the reason being of leaving it open was that the fact that they might just be able to pick up as they go and just keep moving. But I am not against the terms. What I would say is to try to look at what they're already doing in fire, since we're trying to mimic everything that's happening with the fire situation, and try to leave it to that. But hey, if we want to just go off of this whim and do the 3-year term, then we can do that too. I'm not against it. I just think that for more consistency, it would make sense to follow what we were doing already. But if we want to just go ahead and jump out on the 3 years, I'm with it. We could do whichever one we want. I'm okay with it.
Thank you. Councilor McGrath-Smith?
Thank you. So one of the pieces of this is when we did the research on how other municipalities surrounding us are handling this, a number of them are actually in concert together under a joint contract, a joint understanding, and they're sharing this responsibility. And it's not even necessarily one person. It can be like a contracted service. And so it could be multiple people. So I just want to, in terms of the language that's here, we may be thinking of it as like it's one person we're hiring for one position, and that may not be exactly what this looks like. I do still have remaining questions around it being a set stipend of $2,500 because in the other language that I saw from other surrounding towns, it was much more spelled out as a case-by-case basis where you got a certain amount per property you took on up to a certain amount, and then you could get additional if you went over that amount. And so I have questions around, this does seem to make it seem like we're setting it up as a person we're hiring to do the work. But $2,500 for, is it 10 properties? Is it 2 properties? Is it 20 properties? And are we making it a position that's sustainable and that someone's going to want to take on if it's so set, but it's unclear how many properties we're discussing? So I just still have lingering questions.
Thank you. Counselor Jordan and then Counselor Bacon.
Yeah, Madam President, I am supportive of this. I'm actually supportive because it's a $2,500 stipend. That's not a big hit, and it's basically what is allowed, I believe, under the statute, and we're making that available. I'm reading this so I can be clear is I'm thinking this is one person, one position, not that it's 2,500 times 3 people, so it's $7,500. Because if that's the case, please tell me now, because I'm thinking this is a $2,500 expense. And if that's the case, then the only thing about term, I'm not opposed to a term, but the only thing is currently if people are serving without confirmation of the council, that basically means they're serving at the pleasure of the mayor. So that means he or she can remove this person whenever, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for, an administration department position. If you put someone in for a term of office, but the mayor doesn't want the person there anymore and wants somebody else, is he stuck with this person for the next 1 year, 2 years? Should we say in here it's a term of 3 years, but you basically serve at the pleasure unless otherwise removed by the mayor? Or do we not want the mayor to be able to remove this person? I don't know if the ordinance committee considered that or talked about it, but that would be one of the ramifications of having a term, would be that if we don't spell that out, maybe the mayor is stuck with this person for 3 years too. I don't know if we want that or not.
Thank you. Counselor Bacon and then Counselor Bartley.
Thank you. So the main impetus for this is that it was pointed out to us that we had adopted a law back before most of us were on the council that required that we have a local building inspector. And for some reason, for 14 years, it had never been filled. So our initial goal was to remedy the problem since we had adopted the law that calls for a local building inspector. We did discuss the notion of doing a regional collaboration, but that would be a different ordinance and it would be a different order because it would be changing our model, and then we'd still be out of compliance to provide a local option. I can go either way with the term, but I just think the idea was to make it available in a real way for the residents, and we can amend it later again if we need to. So I would urge us to move it. And the other problem that we have is I had asked on more than one occasion for numbers so that we could get a handle, as Councilor McGrath-Smith is pointing out. But we had 2 or 3 meetings on this and we weren't able to be provided with any hard numbers. They were just very general in nature, but I never heard the number greater than 10, so I'm not sure what that would translate into. Having said that, there's more activity on the compliance side of things in the city. So I think we're all just sort of getting a late implementation on this, and then in a year, we'll have a lot more information. Thank you.
Thanks, Counselor. Counselor Bartley.
Yeah, so hopefully my motion it itself should have answered Kevin's question. The municipal hearing officer shall be for a term of no more than 3 years. So that just says that the mayor, it doesn't impact the mayor's ability to hire or fire, but it gives the public and gives the rest of us some information about whether or not this person is going to have job security, whether or not how long this person is going to serve. That's traditionally what we do. And I don't think this is on a whim, Madam President. This is something that I thought about for a while. And if we're going to mimic what other departments do, then we probably should have elucidated that, but that wasn't done. So I think it just makes sense to do it now. I would prefer to do it now, just Section E, the municipal hearing officer shall be appointed for a term of no more than 3 years. That was my motion I made. That was the motion that was seconded. And hopefully we can vote on that and then get it passed tonight. And then one last thing, Madam President, I did, because even though that was the motion on the floor was this, the comments were mainly about the financial aspect, which obviously we understand. I did file an order number 47 that with the, however we vote on this tonight, on my motion, it doesn't matter, but I would just ask your discretion to take 47 immediately after it, because it kind of goes right along with what this is, if the chair doesn't mind. So after we vote on this, if we could just suspend, take 47 up, that'd be great.
Is there any other discussion? Counselor Graney?
Just let's move the question.
Yeah. Okay. You got it.
Thank you.
Whatever you want. All right. So the motion on the floor was to amend the language of the ordinance, section E, that would make the position appointed for a term of no more than 3 years. Who got
I don't
called
see a
first?
section E on the document.
It's adding it. It's the amendment.
Oh, sorry. I misunderstood.
Oh, shouldn't we just make it in A?
I said E. That's my motion. But
Okay.
Put an A. Put it anywhere you want.
Just adding it.
All right.
We'll just add a letter E if folks want to do that. Madam Clerk, who's voting first today? Counselor Jordan.
On the amendment or the whole thing?
For tonight, you got pulled first.
No.
Sorry.
No, I know that, but I'm saying, what are we voting on?
voting-
Oh, tonight we're voting on right now we're voting on the
amendment.
amendment.
Okay.
Okay. The clerk will call the roll.
We're doing a roll call for the amendment?
Yes, please.
Okay. Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti?
No.
Ocasio?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Nope.
Givner?
Yes.
Graney?
Yes.
11 yeas, 2 nays.
Okay, so the amendment has passed.
And the motion is.
And now I need a motion to pass the first reading,
You go
right?
through the steps.
Yes.
Motion to pass the first reading.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to pass the first reading. Is there any other discussion on this? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading.
Second.
Motion to pass the second reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion that the passage be ordained.
And motion that the passage be ordained. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for the amended ordinance language.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti?
Yes.
Ocasio?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Yep.
Givner?
Yes.
Graney?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Just motion suspend, take up 47, please.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to take up item 47, filed by Councilor Bartley, that the city of Holyoke, especially the mayor, consider permanently funding the municipal hearing officer position by way of the vacant building reservation fund. Refer to ordinance, the mayor, and the law department.
And that's my motion. I just
Okay,
wanna-
Councilor Bartley, go
just a
ahead.
question to the chair, because I don't, or maybe Kevin knows, or maybe Patty knows, but does this go to ordinance or does it go to finance? We're setting in an ordinance for how this would work, I would guess, but I don't know that to be true, if we could even set an ordinance. So I only put that on there for just a placeholder. I wasn't sure the best committee.
Would
could
it
send
start an ordinance and then?
I
what I was gonna say.
I think actually I don't think the council can do this because what you're saying, we've created an ordinance that says it's $2,500 a year. What this is saying is that we're asking that it be permanently funded from this particular fund. Only the mayor can do that. He decides how this money comes about. Either he puts it in the budget as part of the general fund or he makes a transfer from this and it would have to be sent into us for approval. We can't mandate he appropriate anything.
Okay. Councilor Bartley?
Yeah, listen, I don't want to upset the apple cart, but so I have no problem with what Kevin said. That's why I asked the question. And if it can't be done by, well, let's do it this way.
You send it to the mayor and ask him.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, could we just send it to ordinance and we'll get a legal opinion at that? I'll talk to Mr. Bissonette.
Sure.
I don't want to put him on the spot now.
No, that's fine. It looks like in Mass General Law, it says that it has to be funded. The fines from the code enforcement officer are supposed to pay for the stipend.
Good.
But we can send it and
Okay. That's correct.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, Jeffrey.
Thanks, Jeff.
I will take no credit for that. All right. Item 23. Committee on Ordinance, to whom is referred an order that the vacant building fee be adjusted to take into account the size, square footage of the building. Recommended that the order be adopted. Councilor Rivera.
Yeah, thank you. So with us, we've had a couple of meetings on this one too as well. At the last meeting, Councilor Sullivan presented some numbers that were put together by the Board of Health Director, Tim Rivers. To my understanding, that he made some comparisons and did some research and tried to adjust numbers as much as he can in a way that is fair and equitable that we can, where we try to make it so that vacant building owners have to pay more than, and this is all dependent on space. It's a tiered system if you actually look at the paperwork. And this is mostly to try to inspire, right, vacant building owners to take responsibility of their properties. If not, that they're going to get fined a heftier rate dependent on the size of their lot size. This is only for property owners of three families of 3-family homes or higher, to my understanding. Four?
4 families.
So then it was 4 family then. So 4 families or higher, and again, if you look at the rates, they're adjusted nominally. I can go through the paperwork just so that people that are online can actually hear it, but that's up to the liberty of the rest of the council, because I'm taking up a lot of your time too here as well. But since I haven't heard anyone be against it, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. All right, so property type for the first box is 4 or more residential units or commercial properties. Square footage is not applicable. The vacant less than 1 year, no fee. Residential and commercial properties, square footage not applicable. Vacant 1 to 2 years, $1,500 annual assessment. Residential and commercial properties, tier 1, less than 3,000 square feet, vacant 2 years or more without an accepted rehabilitation plan. So they get to get a plan and try to spare themselves a cost too as well. So there's ways for them to try to mitigate the extra fines that come on. So you did some good work on this, Mike. You and Mr. Rivers. Anyways, so 3,000 annual assessment. Tier 2 is 3,001 to 8,000 square feet, vacant 2 years or more without an accepted rehabilitation plan. 6,000 annual assessment. And then it goes on to tier 3, what ends up being 8,000. Tier 4, 10,000. Tier 5, 15,000, and the square footage continues to increase from there. If there's any other questions with regards to this, feel free to ask. I can try to answer what I can, but Councilor Sullivan is here and he knows a lot more of the in and outs of this.
Okay, thank you, Councilor. Was there a motion though?
Oh, motion to pass the first reading then?
Second.
Okay,
Under discussion. Councilor Givner, and then was that your hand, Councilor Sullivan? I don't know. Okay,
yeah.
all right. Okay, Councilor Givner.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm just curious as to whether this would be moving forward or retroactive.
Councilor Rivera, do you want to answer that?
I don't recall that. Councilor Sullivan, do you remember that?
You can't go right.
My common sense would say it wouldn't be retroactive. I don't think we can enact.
I don't think it was
retroactive
retroactive.
I just want to make sure because we just had a big debacle
Yeah,
with
no.
building fines for people for years and years that they didn't know about. So
we
common sense would dictate we didn't do
going
that.
forward
either.
only.
Okay, it's going forward only,
Yeah.
according
Going
to Councilor
forward only,
Jordan
section-
said, section 3.
There you go. It's in the paperwork.
Okay,
The devil's in the details.
look at that. All right, is there any other discussion? So the motion was to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to pass the second reading.
Second.
Motion to pass the second reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion that the passage be ordained.
Second.
And the motion that the passage be ordained. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting to adopt this ordinance.
Jordan,
Yes.
McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti,
Yes.
Ocasio,
Yes.
Israel Rivera,
Yes.
Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley,
Yes.
Devine,
Yes.
Givner,
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
unanimous vote.
That you've passed it. Thank you, everyone. Item 24 is the Committee on Ordinance. Referred an order that no group homes, profit or nonprofit, be allowed within the city limits of Holyoke, Mass. Without the approval of the Holyoke City Council. Recommended that the order be adopted. Councilor Rivera.
Thank you. I believe this is an order filed by Councilor Graney. And we've had a couple public hearings on it. And the understanding here in the language that we put together pretty much is allowing for us as a council and the public to be notified if anyone is applying for this. Pretty much, it's not necessarily barring it. And anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, right? It's not that we're barring it because we can't necessarily bar it across. We're just we've put in a mechanism to help inform us if something is happening or coming this way with regards to this. But I see Mr. Brown, he's grabbing the microphone. You can feel free to chime in. But it was approved 3-0 with the committee that was present, and motion to pass the first reading.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to pass the first reading. Under discussion, Councilor Graney and then Councilor Bacon.
Yeah, one of the motives was that a lot of these things take away tax-paying properties. And once again, anytime we give up a tax-paying property in the city, somebody else has to bear the burden. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Bacon.
Thank you. I would just like to note that we will also be noticed if somebody is looking for an occupancy permit, because there are, as I learned through this process, density rules relative to group homes, even though they are allowed as of right. And so the council then will be able to ascertain that the applicant is in compliance with all the different state licensure aspects as well. And that's something we haven't had in the past. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, so the motion was to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to pass the second reading.
Second.
Motion to pass the second reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
And, oh, not me, you. Sorry.
Motion that the passage be ordained.
Thank you. Motion that the passage be ordained. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting to adopt the ordinance.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Rafiro Milady?
Yes.
Ocasio?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Givner?
Yes.
Greeny?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you. Councilor Bacon?
Just a point of information. Now that we've adopted this, will we be making the mayor aware so he can make the department heads aware? Otherwise, they might not be thinking about sending it to us.
So he will have to sign off on it, and we can, do the department heads get a copy of it once it's been passed, Jeffrey? They do, okay. So,
All right.
okay.
Okay, great. I just wasn't sure about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. We are on item 25. Committee on Ordinance, to whom was referred an order that when the use of a building is changing, requiring permits from city departments but not city council approval, a communication be sent to city council informing of the change. Recommended that the order has been complied with. Councilor Rivera.
Yes, this was also, I believe, an order filed by Councilor Anderson Burgos. Right. So yeah, this was an order, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking that just to help us have a better understanding of what's happening when things are changing with regards to occupancy with businesses and storefronts. And to my understanding now, with it being complied with, this will just be a communication to us moving forward when it happens. And again, keeping us in the loop. I know for some of us, or a lot of us, we've had different constituents reach out to us when different things move into their neighborhoods without giving a heads up. This made sense, and to just like the other order, kind of appreciate it coming forward. And then the last thing I'll say is, hi, Gabble, because my daughter's watching me and she just texted me.
Nice. Hey, girl. All right. Anyone else? Any other discussion? So the motion is that the order is complied with.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you, Ordinance Committee.
Madam President, before we continue, could I have a motion to take up late filed orders?
Okay, which, are these just the late files? Okay, so the late files are 66, 67, 68, all the way through 70.
Motion to refer them to finance?
Wait,
No, Counselor Devine has you have the floor. What did you want to?
I didn't realize that these are not, they're late filed, correct?
Yeah,
They're here on our agenda. The auditor sent that to us, correct?
yes.
Okay. I think we should just put them on the table until the auditor's able.
Which item?
Maybe you could read all three, because for some reason I don't see them here.
Oh, they might be just on the digital copy.
Wait, okay, thank you. Let's see. Okay, 66, okay.
61, 62,
Yeah.
64.
Put
She's
that on
talking
the
about
table,
late files,
please.
66 through.
66 and
Or is it 67?
68 and 69,
Okay.
70,
Okay.
I assume.
I'm gonna read.
66, 67,
I'll do an abridged version.
68.
So the motion was made.
Thank you, David.
The motion was made to receive and lay on the table
Yes,
items 66 through 70. So 66 is a transfer request of $21,600.22. 67 is a transfer request for $8,182.93. 68 is a transfer request for $11,342. 69 is ordered that there be a transfer of $5,050. And 70 is a transfer of $1,560.99. The motion was to receive and lay these items on the table under discussion.
Well, first we have to suspend the rules because under our rules, as you know, Madam President, we cannot take up any discussion of late file items without a suspension of the rules. So, I think we're going to need that vote first, which of course I'm against suspending the rules for that purpose.
So I think when Counselor Devine made her order, she asked to suspend the rules.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. Oh, okay. All right.
But, so the first motion is to suspend the rules and
take up late filed orders.
take up the late filed orders. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Those are opposed?
No.
Okay, do you guys want to do like a roll call?
Sure.
Okay. Or just well, the show of hands throws me off. I'm sorry. So I don't trust myself when I'm trying to count that. Under discussion, Counselor Bacon.
Thank you, Madam President. So these are coming into us as late files, so they're not on any published agenda for the public. And so then we want to suspend our rules to table them in council so that they're never going to appear on a regular agenda. They're only going to be showing up as tabled, like they already went somewhere and we already looked at it and we're coming back to it. I just think this is not in the spirit of the open meeting law, but that's just me. Thank you.
Okay. Counselor Devine and then Counselor
I ask
Rainey.
if we could suspend the rules and hear from Counselor Attorney Bissonnette.
Was that a motion? Do we always need a motion?
To do that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Counselor Attorney Bissonnette?
Thank you.
There you are. Can you hear us?
I can.
Um,
Good
s-
evening.
Good evening. Did you hear Counselor Devine's question?
Yeah, is the motion to take the several, the 4 or 5 late files and move them from the agenda at the bottom to being laid on the table? Is that
Yes.
what's before the body?
Yes.
That requires a majority vote, not a 2/3. If you look under Rule 7, God help me, I think it's Rule 7A, Roman numeral 12, there's a line right beneath that that says something to the effect that deviation from the agenda can be done by a majority of the vote. Is that what this is? If this is a deviation from the agenda to place it somewhere else, then that would only require a majority. If you're going to act on it tonight, you would certainly need 2/3.
Right, okay. Do you have a response to that?
Clarification for him.
Okay.
That the late files are not on the agenda. They're not listed on this agenda.
All right, not mine.
They're on mine.
Not mine, I'm looking right at it.
I don't
Well,
have,
not on the agenda that was published 48 hours in advance, they're not. They're maybe, they only came.
Well, but we do this every week with late files, so.
but then our rule is that we post them on the next agenda.
Right.
Which they will be, they'll be tabled. They'll be the top.
This happens a lot, and this has never come up as an issue before.
Because we usually send them to committee.
Yeah, but this time they're not gonna be, so they'll be posted to agenda, so it's even better.
So, all right, is there any other discussion? Sorry, I had you on my list. I'm sorry, Counselor Graney.
That's okay. I just wanted to let you know, I don't have those, I'm voting on something I haven't gotten.
We're not voting on anything this evening.
Table, I haven't, I'm not even aware of what they are.
Okay, all right.
Why doesn't have them?
Counselor Jordan.
My understanding is if we don't take them up, don't they just go on the next agenda anyways, if we don't take them up anyway? So it's kind of a distinction without a difference. I don't know if you wanted these to go to finance. If you didn't, they just automatically go on the next agenda anyway. So you kind of get what you want anyways. I mean, I suppose table.
Yep, that's a motion on the floor.
Right.
I would prefer to just have it go on the next
good?
agenda myself.
Okay.
but-
It's non-debatable, but.
There are printed agendas on the corner. Is everyone, there's a lot of, all right, so the motion was to suspend the rules and take these items out of order. So, and then we
Doing a
did,
show of hands.
we were gonna do a show of hands if you want to suspend the rules. It's a yes.
Yes.
Suspend the rules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you want? Are you looking at me? Sorry.
I don't think Brenna gets a vote.
Oh, you were counting for me? Okay. Thank you. I'll stay in my lane.
Hold on. I only see 8 hands up.
Well, it doesn't matter, that wins anyhow.
Do you want it higher?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now there's 9. Now I see 9 hands up.
Jeez.
Okay.
On the table.
So laid on the table, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We are on 26.
Motion to take up 26?
Motion to take up 26. The Committee on Finance, to whom was referred an order that there be a transfer of $145 from dues and subscriptions and supplies to dues and subscriptions planning, Board of Health planning. Recommended that the order be adopted. Counselor Devine?
Motion to pass the first reading?
Motion is to pass the first reading under discussion.
Aaron Vega was in on Zoom, and what it is, it's about Zoom meetings, Zoom accounts, and one of them is shared with the Board of Health and the Mayor's Office, and that the other one is 3 Zoom accounts out of planning. So that's why the transfer of that money, that's to pay for the Zoom accounts.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? All right. So the
Motion to pass the second reading?
Well, no, hold on. Motion was to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion to pass the second reading, and the clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting in favor of the transfer.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti?
Yes.
Casio?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Givner?
Yes.
Graney?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
That you've passed it. Item 27 is the Committee on Finance, to whom is referred an order of a transfer request of $350,000 as follows: from patrolmen, sergeants, dispatch to overtime. Recommended that the order be adopted. Counselor Devine?
Yeah, motion to pass the first reading.
Motion is to pass the first reading. Under discussion.
And we had the new chief in, and Sergeant Zerhide regarding the overtime. And this is through June 30th of 2025. And one of the reasons is because he has to fill vacancies, injured on duty, people that are in the military, so those spots have to be filled. And then he does believe that they're moving in the right direction, tightening the controls on overtime, and that he is going to be looking for a staffing company that allows the police department to track overtime, and he believes that this is modern-day best practices to have that done.
Thank you. Is there any other comments or discussion? Okay, so the motion was to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye. Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion has been made to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting in favor.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti?
Yes.
Ocasio?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Givner?
Yes.
Graney?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
That you've passed it. Thank you. 28 is the Committee on Finance. That the City Council hereby accept the provisions of the fiscal year 24 Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency Emergency Management Grant Program, $9,500, 50% in-kind match.
Motion to pass the first reading?
Motion has been made to pass the first reading. Under discussion, Councilor Devine.
Jeffrey Trask came in. He's the emergency director, management director, and he's also a fire commissioner. And we did ask him about the in-kind match. And what they do with this is they use their own, it's made up of their own line items, expenditures in their budget, and they continue to invest in emergency response team, such as shelter equipment, update fire technology, run hybrid ops, due to video conferencing, close some gaps that they don't always get, and they reach out to other departments.
Thank you. Is there any other comments? Okay, so the motion was to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting to accept this grant.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti?
Yes.
Ocasio?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Givner?
Yes.
Graney?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Okay, with that, you've passed. I have a note here. Do you guys want to take 29 and
58
together?
Yep.
Second.
Aye.
Item 29 is to, it's a transfer request of $293,439.63 from general stabilization and capital stabilization to highway capital outlay. And then 58 is also a transfer request of the same amount, $293,439.63. Item 58 is just from capital stabilization to highway capital outlay. Counselor
Motion to pass the
Devine,
first reading.
the motion to pass the first reading under discussion?
Yeah, and Counselor Jordan, I would certainly ask him if he'd like to speak on this as well, because he's the one that brought this up, and the mayor was in agreement. This is to replace 3 plow trucks, which were in pretty bad shape, and so let's hope there's not any more snow, so they don't have to do anything with that. But the mayor did say he would submit an order changing the funding mechanism, and he did do that on item 58. So if Councilor Jordan, because that was really his questioning in order to get this from the mayor, if he wants to say anything about it.
Thank you. Counselor Jordan.
Yeah, just briefly to expand on what the chairman said, these trucks are definitely needed. The hope is that we'll have them for next season. Takes a while to order them, obviously, and get these vehicles. And the question was just basically what pot of money are we going to take them from? And ultimately, we prevailed upon the mayor to take it from capital stabilization, and he was in agreement. So that's what we're doing tonight, and that's what item 58 does.
Okay. Is there any other?
Yeah.
Counselor Sullivan?
Oh.
Yeah, and I say just well beyond the problem snow removal. We've got one of these trucks is a 1986, and they're really in unsafe condition, unsafe for the employees of the city, unsafe for the residents where they're doing work, and adds incredibly to our maintenance budget and overtime budget by continuing to run vehicles like this. So it's about time.
Thank you. 86, I wasn't born yet, so. Counselor Bartley?
That was funny. That was,
I got jokes.
21. If you talk to the employees, as I do quite often, when they're so happy with the new vehicles that we purchased so many years ago. The radios work, the air conditioning works, the heater works, the equipment works. So Councilor Sullivan's points are all very valid.
Thank you. Counselor Devine, did I see your hand?
No.
Okay. Counselor Greeny?
Yes, Madam Chair, are these new plow trucks going to have an automatic shut-off when I get to my driveway?
For you, yes. Absolutely. Counselor McGrath-Smith and then Counselor Bacon.
Thank you. My question is, as always, if we're taking $106,000 out of capital stabilization, how much will be left? I just know there's not a whole lot in that account, and so if we keep taking out chunks of money, it'd be nice to know how much was left.
There was 352 before, so minus this amount.
It's 293.
Excuse me,
Yes.
2 minus
just to be
106.
clear, we're
352.
we won't be taking 106 out of capital
only 106 out of-
stabilization. I believe
It's not the full amount, because it's
Number
186 is
58.
general and
number
106 is
58.
capital.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Sorry.
Everyone's just kind of chit-chatting.
If we use number 50,
Counselor Sullivan, okay. Go
we're going to
ahead.
be taking 293,000 out of capital stabilization.
If that vote goes through for it to just be from capital stabilization, right?
Correct.
Correct. Counselor Bacon.
Thank you. So what I'm trying to clarify is what we're voting on now, because it was talked about 58, but the motion to pass the first reading, since we took both up, what is that?
Yeah, so I just had this question for Jeffrey.
57 or 58?
50, okay, so 20.
Or 29.
29, if you guys, we can do two separate votes if you'd like. And what, Counselor Devine, would you like your motion to pass the first reading
Counselor Jordan, should we give this leave to withdraw this?
or send to the auditor
We'd have to return it to the auditor.
or
Okay,
29?
we'll do that.
So is that a motion?
Return this to the auditor.
Okay. But we're, okay. Counselor McGrath-Smith.
So that means that if we vote yes on 58, we'll have $59,000 left in capital stabilization.
If you do the math.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the motion is to for 29 to refer back to the auditor.
Auditor.
All those on any other discussion on 29? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And then 58 is the one that is the transfer from capital stabilization to highway capital outlay. So that is
Motion to pass the first reading.
motion to pass the first reading. Is there any other discussion?
No, the,
Councilor Sullivan?
Do we have to receive and adopt, since it's just being filed as an order tonight?
Pass the readings, Mike.
That's
I'm
it?
sorry, what's the question?
Yeah, I missed the question. I'm sorry.
made a motion to pass the first reading.
Yeah, motion to pass the
Go,
first
Mike.
reading, yep.
And then we'll,
It's going to require a 2/3 vote,
Right.
right?
Because we're acting on it tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, is there any other discussion?
nope.
All right.
Nope.
So the motion was to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
A motion to pass the second reading.
Motion is to pass the second reading, and the clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting in favor of the transfer.
Jordan,
Yes.
McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti,
Yes.
Ocasio,
Yes.
Israel Rivera,
Yes.
Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley,
Yes.
Devine,
Yes.
Givner,
Yes.
Greeny.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Okay. Thank you. Item 30. It's the Committee on Finance, to whom is referred an order for a transfer of $24,780 from the vacant building revolving fund to property maintenance and demo supervisor. Recommended that the order be adopted. Counselor Devine.
Motion to pass the first reading.
Motion to pass the first reading under discussion.
Yeah,
Counselor Devine.
Beth Ward, the building commissioner, was on Zoom, and she is thrilled with this order because the amount of money in demolition fees will be enormous, according to her, and that they will be putting out a job description because it does have to be posted. It's posting for 7 days in-house, and then from there, it goes to the public for another week. So it should take about 3 or 4 weeks to get all this done and get everything in order so that they can post it and hire somebody. And I don't think there was anything else. I think she said the amount of money for salary was, Kevin, 65, 70,000 for a salary of the
Correct,
person.
that was the
Yeah.
range, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was great. I would certainly commend Counselor Sullivan for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Okay, so the motion was to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading.
Second.
Motion to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to approve the transfer request.
Jordan,
Yes.
McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti,
Yes.
Ocasio,
Yes.
Israel Rivera,
Yes.
Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley,
Yes.
Devine,
Yes.
Givner,
Yes.
Greeny.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you.
Madam President, before we go on,
Counselor
just,
Devine.
I think we mentioned it in the Finance Committee. If the auditor could give us the funding for each one of these, what's left in each one of those funds?
For,
General stabilization, capital stabilization, capital outlay, highway, vacant building revolving fund. I think that's all.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Finance. Okay, Charter and Rules, item 31. Oh, hold on. Item 31,
Committee.
what's up?
It's in committees.
What is,
I don't believe it's, well, point
Is
of
it-
order.
okay, Counselor McGrath-Smith?
I don't believe it's in committee because I believed erroneously that if you were not present for a meeting, you did not sign the jacket, and that's not what happened. I discovered that's not always what occurs. So 2 people did sign the jacket for that order.
I did. I watched the meeting
Oh, okay.
Sunday night.
Oh, okay.
Nice way to spend my Sunday. Counselor Jordan.
But I'm happy to get into the committee report and explain that and have the will of the body decide if they want to return it to committee or vote on it tonight.
Okay.
Just on this point,
Counselor Jordan.
my understanding is that you can't sign committee reports if you didn't vote on the committee. You can't vote after the meeting's over.
So you just can't vote at all?
Not on that item. You have to be present for the vote in committee to vote on the committee report.
On the floor? Or just vote?
You had to be at the committee meeting and vote yes, no, whatever the case may be. You can't vote after the meeting's over. So there were two people that showed up to the meeting, and only one person who actually voted on the item signed the committee report.
Okay, I'd like to suspend the rules and allow the law department to weigh in on this because this is a new one for me again, so whatever. Counselor Attorney Bissonnette, can you weigh in, please?
This is relative to council rules regarding committee reports. There is no signature requirement. I think most of the veteran members will tell you there's more of a practice than a hard rule. But what would dictate under the open meeting law would be the requirement of a note taker or a preparation of minutes. In this case, minutes are prepared and the votes are recorded as they are taken. So there would be no opportunity, such as exists, for example, with the planning board, where members who missed a meeting could review the meeting and then participate in future meetings concerning that same topic. There's no such rule for city council or city legislative bodies to do that. But again, there's no requirement for signature. Councilor Jordan is quite correct, though. The requirement is that you be present and voting, and that is then recorded and reflected in the minutes. The signature really has no legal bearing on whether or not something was voted on at a public meeting. Hope that's helpful.
Okay, I have Counselor Devine and then Counselor Bacon.
Just a little bit of confusion here. If somebody is unable to attend a subcommittee meeting and is also unable to Zoom into that meeting, and what Counselor Bissonnette is saying is that you can't sign the report. So if that person could not go for whatever reason physically to that meeting and could not Zoom in that meeting, so if what the lawyer is saying is that that person can't vote. So if that is the case, does that person have to acknowledge that he or she was not at the committee meeting and whether he or she signed it or not? Do they have to announce it to the public that, sorry, I can't vote on this?
Counselor Attorney Bissonnette, did you hear that?
I think there's some confusion. All counselors can vote on any matter that comes before the full council, absent a conflict of interest or a proper reason for recusal from voting. However, at the committee meeting, you missed a meeting, you missed a meeting. You missed a meeting, you missed a vote. It does not mean, let's say you were out sick with COVID in the hospital, you couldn't attend the meeting either way. If you were miraculously cured and arrived 2 weeks later to do the full council meeting, you certainly would be eligible to vote. So there's no authorization from voting simply by missing a committee meeting. And again, there's no signature requirement, so that really shouldn't bear on the discussion at all.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Bacon?
Thank you. So the issue at hand is the matter being moved out of committee. And subsequent to the committee meeting, I reached out to the chair because I had gained information that after the meeting that caused me to change my vote to move this forward to no. So therefore, I did not sign the committee jacket, so there's not a majority vote.
But to,
Can
if I may, yes, of
Can I
course.
please finish?
Yep.
So I communicated to the chair of the committee that fact. I could not discuss the context or I'd be violating the open meeting law, which we have violated tonight because those late filed orders came to us at 5:20.
Can
So
we stay on track here?
Yes,
Thanks.
I can. So I communicated to her that I had received based on information I've received since the Charter and Rules Committee meeting, I'll not be signing the jacket. And she said, no worries, that will kick it back to committee. Thanks for letting me know, which is what has always been the understanding. I was open in my communication. I didn't try to pull a fast last-minute thing. I communicated to the chair, and I communicated to you. Upon review of information and other information that came to me in terms of feedback since that meeting, I made a mistake in the committee, and that's that.
On the motion to hear the committee report?
If I don't call on you guys, then there's no motion, like, first of all. What I'm hearing from Attorney Bissonnette is that my clarification that I wanted is if it was voted out of committee favorably, but now the committee member who does not want to sign the order out of committee, does one cancel out the other? I guess I also would love to see where this is in our rules that talks about all of this at length. I know the section and stuff, so I'm just, and to be honest, like, we've been doing great on time. I really don't want this to turn into a thing. Feels like it already has. It's all good. But, you know, it is something that was brought to my attention maybe 5 minutes before the meeting started. So it does catch me off guard when this happens and no one gives me a heads up until right before the meeting. So Attorney Bissonnette, can you answer my question?
The committee report, as it was reported to the council, stands. The member who voted in committee and has changed their mind is absolutely free to vote against the committee report before the council. The council is also free, upon a motion, to refer it back to the committee. So there are several courses of action that can be taken.
That's what I figured. If folks feel very strongly about sending it back to committee, it's another month, whatever, but it's just...
I make a motion to send it back to committee.
Well, excuse me, I did not recognize your motion. I did not recognize anyone's motion. So, I'm still running the meeting, and well, this is wild. Okay. I'm gonna entertain a motion that this gets sent back to committee.
So moved.
Because I'm not taking up any more time arguing this. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay.
Item 32.
Item 32 is from the Committee on Charter and Rules, to whom was referred an order that Rule 9J be edited to remove the first two sentences so that it reads, if the legal form is not provided 48 hours prior to the meeting, upon objection of any member of the City Council, the matter will be tabled until the next meeting. Recommended that the order be adopted. Councilor McGrath-Smith.
This was a unanimous vote. 2 votes out of the committee, where 2 were present. Effectively, this is in response to us having revised an earlier section of a rule where this now had redundant language. We're just removing the redundant language because it exists elsewhere in a rule that we already revised this term.
Thanks. Is there anyone else? Okay, so recommended that the order be adopted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That you've passed. Item 33, Committee on Charter and Rules, to whom was referred an order that Rule 9P be amended to remove the reference to items being tabled if they are not taken up in 45 days. Recommended that the order be given a leave to withdraw. Councilor McGrath-Smith.
And I would, defer to the maker of the order if they want to add to this. Effectively, in conversation, we just discussed the pros and cons of what we have done, which is, of course, attempting to have items be listed on agendas in a tabled way so they cannot be kind of hidden in the jacket in places that other members of the committee can't ever bring them to light. And there is, in fact, a mechanism now where someone on a subcommittee would be able to ask for an item to be taken off the table and taken up so they can get something going if it hasn't been placed on an agenda by the chair. I don't think we've actually seen anyone take advantage of that yet, but it is something that is possible. And so we were initially thinking about taking it off, decided just to, for now, give it leave to withdraw. Unless the maker of the order, Patty Devine, wants to speak to share more. That's the committee report as it stands.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Bacon.
Thank you. If I can, if we're still under approval of our solicitor to speak to us, I would just like to clarify that if a matter is tabled in committee, whether it have been taken up and tabled by the committee, or if it's administratively tabled because it's exceeded the 45 days, if we would be within the law to take it off the table if it was not listed by the chair for that meeting. We have said that's why we're doing it, but we never have. And so I would just like to get clarification on that.
Attorney Bissonnette.
I think that's a wonderful point. We've talked about this before. The entire notice to the public aspect of the open meeting law does require some notice that a topic, absent an emergency, absent exigent circumstances, absent something that could not be anticipated by the chair, these matters should be listed so the public can be aware that a discussion, debate, and decision may be had. However, when you list 92 different items that are in a committee's jacket on each agenda, it tends to get lost in the mix. However, there is no other really certain way that if a member and a majority of a committee decides to take something off the table that's been listed, they have the right to do that. But if it's not listed, the list is not posted, then there's no way the public can be informed, and that would be a violation. So I think in compliance, that's why members first thought to do this 45-day with no action. But I think there may be another way to consider going about this by having members that want things that are in the jacket to be listed as laid on the table in case they wish to bring them up. That could be another way to handle this rather than listing all of them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so recommended that the order be given a leave to withdraw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 34. Committee on Charter and Rules, to whom was referred an order that the City Council reconsider our vote to appoint the City Treasurer rather than have it be an elected position. Recommended that the order be given leave to withdraw. Councilor McGrath-Smith.
In this case, it's just a matter of timing. This was something that was an alternative pathway at one point, but left in the jacket and not taken up because we were able to move our initial process forward with our state legislators, and so it just makes sense at this point to be given leave to withdraw.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councilor Jordan?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe the chairman of ordinance or otherwise could help us with, what's our next steps? Just kind of curious. We've now passed it. I believe there's maybe a possible ordinance that's coming that lays out the whole treasurer and the mechanics of, you know, you're gonna have these job qualifications and you're gonna be this. I don't know if there's gonna be some next steps coming, and at this point be interested, maybe at a future meeting, or if you wanna say a couple words now, you know, maybe that would be appropriate, whatever you think.
So if that question was to the chair.
Or yourself.
Oh, okay. I can just weigh in on what's going on internally. I started having conversations with the personnel department and the treasurer's office and the tax collector. And so I'm working with the ordinance chair to start putting these things on future agendas and figure out what the whole kind of plan looks like going forward and what a timeline is, including the order that you guys filed about the qualifications for the treasurer. And then there's another order in the charter and rules jacket related to tax collector, treasurer, I believe. So there's a few orders, and we're going to all kind of figure out what that's going to look like in the next couple months for the next few ordinance committee meetings.
Sounds good.
Councilor Devine, did you have your hand
Yeah,
up?
I just wanted to mention that this was my order in the beginning, and I believe it was in November before we knew that we were going to have a special election, and that's why I gave it leave to withdraw. I asked that it be given leave to withdraw.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so on the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motions, orders, and resolutions. We did 35.
Motion to take up 36.
36 is filed by Councilor Jordan, ordered that the city clerk meet with city council to discuss potential streamlining of poll locations in wards 1, 2, and 5, as we've done in 3, 4, and 6. Councilor Jordan.
I don't know if there's a suggested committee. I'd be happy if we could have this in finance or public service. I mean, this could go to ordinance. I mean, this could go a couple different directions, but Brenna's got a lot of good ideas on this, so I'm filing this in concert with her. I did have Councilor Vacan also as a co-sponsor too,
Okay.
so if I could add her.
There, yep.
What about finance?
Finance would be great if, Patty, if you're okay
Why?
with that.
I don't understand why.
Well, there is some financial savings to going to the plan here is to eliminate 3 precincts, and basically all the other wards have 1 voting location, so the plan is to go to 1 in the other 3 wards as well. And obviously want a lot of feedback from the councilors from 1, 2, and 5. You're clearly your voice is going to be very important in this discussion and the feedback, but the thinking is in the other 4 wards, we have 1 voting location. So the question is, should we do that in 1, 2, 5 as well? And then the next point is, should we be thinking about other locations? Sometimes it's getting challenging to have them in schools, and maybe we need to think about other locations. I know there's some discussions going on about other locations. I know in particular, potentially Ward 4.
Are you good with finance, or?
Could it go to DGR?
If I could.
Okay.
I'm totally flexible, whatever the body thinks is easy.
Councilor Devine.
Perhaps the clerk could, I think it should be sent to the clerk, and I think years ago that you had put a committee together, perhaps to look at changing things in different wards, so that's why I'm thinking that maybe the clerk, sorry to do this to you, I know you're busy, but that could get together with wards 1, 2, and 5 and talk about it and meet, see if it's a possibility or.
I actually kind of think it's easier to just meet in a subcommittee and take
Motion is
one
send
step
item
at a
56.
time.
Okay, we'll send it to DGR then.
DGNR.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Jeff, okay.
Item 37 is filed by Councilors Vacan and Jordan, ordered that the City Council adopt the following special act and then place the question on the November 2025 ballot. Charter and rules?
Charter and rules, yep.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I just wanted to make a clarifying point.
Okay.
That it's the recall provision that we've voted in the past.
Okay.
Just because it's not on there.
Got it. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 38 is filed by Councilors Jordan and Bacon that the superintendent of schools please update the joint committee on city council and school committee on any updated plans for the school department headquarters.
Joint committee.
Send to the joint committee. All
Which,
those.
by the way,
Yes.
is going to be meeting on the 12th of
That's
February.
right. Next Wednesday.
So,
Is that next week? Yeah.
yes, already next Wednesday at 6:30. So Councilor Graney and Councilor and Madam President,
You
and I
got
already
it.
did check with Mr. Soto. He's good, and the school committee members are good.
Perfect.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilor
Just a
Graney.
just a request that I get that agenda early, okay, like a couple days before.
I would hope you get it.
I hope so. That's
I would
open
hope-
meeting law.
Jeff will take care of that. He's good on that.
All right. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 40 is filed by Councilor Jenny Rivera. Order that Davin Pasick, the zoning official, representative from the law department, V-Care, from Holyoke Health Holyoke Health Center to attend a city council meeting to discuss ordinance 6.4.6, section 6, and explore potential changes to the ordinance.
Can I be added to that, Madam President?
Yep. Yes, Councilor Bacon.
Which ordinance is that?
Uh,
I just couldn't, I wasn't sure. if I-
6.4.
Is it signs?
Signs.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because I looked it up and I wasn't sure if I was right. Okay,
so
thank
just
you.
add Divine and Anderson Burgos. Was that it? Okay. Send to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 41 is filed by Councilor Bacon. Order that the installation of a crosswalk near 64 County Road be evaluated for improved safety. Refer to DPW, city engineer, and public safety.
Yes, please.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 42, filed by Councilor Bacon. Order that the portion of Westfield Road from Doyle Drive to the traffic light at Appermont Highway be evaluated with recommendations for safety improvements. Referred to DPW, city engineer, Sergeant Zerhide, and the Traffic Enforcement Grant Committee.
Yes, please.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Madam Chair, I'll just make a motion
yes,
to give
Councilor Bartley.
Give all mine abbreviated reading, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Well, they're pretty standard.
43 is filed by Councilor Bartley, that the city council issue proclamations to the parade committee and award winners of the Ancient Order of Hibernians, refer to administrative assistant, copy parade committee AOH and Councilor Devine to produce the proclamations. All those in favor? Or under discussion?
Motion is receive and adopt.
Motion to receive and adopt. All those in favor? Aye. 44, filed by Councilors Bartley and Sullivan, that DGR invite the Valley Blue Sox into a DGR committee meeting.
Motion to receive and refer to DGR and copy to the park and a copy to Jeff. So we'll work together to set it up.
Okay.
With the other chair, of course.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Madam
opposed?
President?
I'm sorry. Yes,
I
Councilor
just
Jordan.
want to be careful. Did we do 39? Which is the one on creating an
We did.
ordinance.
We did that earlier.
I just want to make sure we sent it to ordinance.
We did.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, because it went in.
We took it out
early in the
of,
meeting.
yeah, we
Went with the
took it out of-
governor's letter.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, thank you, yep.
Yep. So receive and refer to DGR, copy to Parks and Admin Assistant. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 45 is filed by Councilor Bartley, that the City Council recognize the month of March is Irish American Heritage Month. Receive and adopt?
Yeah, so that's the motion, receive and adopt.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Councilor 46 is filed by Councilor Bartley. The Parks Commission for the proposed lease between the city and the Blue Sox. Receive to and refer to DGR. Copy to Parks.
Yeah, and copy to parks. Just get the contract to us
Okay.
before the season starts.
Copy to Parks. Copy to DPW and copy to Law Department.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And 47 we did.
We did do 47. And so 48, filed by Councilor Bartley, the Law Department in its next executive session provide City Council an update on the pending sexual harassment lawsuits in U.S. District Court.
Yeah, the motion just referred to the city council president and the law department.
Got it?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 49 is filed by Councilor Bartley. The city treasurer and/or auditor send a communication to council on the financial status of the Community Preservation Fund.
Receive and adopt.
Receive and adopt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 50 is filed by Councilor Bartley. City ordinance shall be amended to order the city treasurer and auditor to send an annual communication to council on the financial status of the CPA
So-
fund.
Perfect. So the motion is just what 5048, but this says send it to ordinance so that we can possibly ordain it. So I don't have to, they'll just do it by
Send to ordinance?
Yeah, please.
All those in favor?
All right, thank
Any
you.
opposed? 51 is filed by Councilor Bartley. The Parks Commission send a communication to City Council on the balance of the Scotts Tower account.
Receive and adopt.
Receive and adopt and
Refer to
refer to Parks. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 52, filed by Councilor Bartley. City engineer review the feasibility of a mid-block crosswalk on Homestead Ave. Receive and adopt, refer to engineer, refer to ordinance.
Yeah, can I make a
Sure.
friendly amendment to my own?
Yeah.
Ordinance? Just because we've had this so many times with the crosswalk at the main gate. So, as you know, now you've been here so long, you realize that too. It's come up multiple times. We can't. So I just want to add the crosswalk that I said, and add to that the main gate crosswalk. So just wherever that is in Jack somewhere.
Okay.
So just add the main gate. So my motion is to amend this to add the crosswalk to the main gate at HCC. Somebody wants to second that, that'd be great.
Second.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
That's okay. No worries. No worries.
All right. So the amended version is to add the crosswalk to the main gate at HCC. All those in favor?
Aye.
And motions to refer the amended order to ordinance.
Refer the amended order to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right, thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So item 53 is financial transfer request. Late file, or no, not a late file. Hold on.
Madam
For
Chair?
injured on duty.
Yes, Councilor Rivera.
Yeah, real quick, it just dawned on me. 51, with regards to the Scotts Tower account, I believe there's a communication that was sent recently from
Great.
Tanya around the, what are they called? The revolving
No
accounts
sweat.
that has the amounts of that
Okay.
in there now.
Okay.
But
It's all right.
Don't like to.
that's all right.
Thank you. Okay, 53 is filed by Councilor Devine, ordered that there be a transfer of $9,981.52 from captain and lieutenants to injured on duty. I have a note here that this represents 3 firefighters.
Motion to pass the
To suspend.
suspend the necessary rules and pass this tonight.
Okay, so motion has been made and seconded by anyone to suspend the rules. Thanks. To suspend the rules and take final action on item 53. And is there a motion to pass
Pass first
the
reading.
first reading? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Motion to pass second reading.
Motion to pass the second reading. Is there any other discussion? Okay, the clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting in favor of the transfer.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti?
Yes.
Ocasio?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Givner?
Yes.
Graney?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Okay, with that, you have passed it. Thank you. Do you want to take?
Madam President, if we could take up 54, 55, 56, 57, and 58, suspend necessary rules
Second.
to do that and send it to finance. Oh, no, we already did 58.
Yeah, okay, we did 58, but motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules and take items 54, 55, 56, 57, and 59 as a package and refer to finance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. 65.
Those were already taken.
Yep, so 65 is, right?
Through 64.
No, 65 is,
63, 64.
it's a late file, communication from Attorney Mantaleski, about St. Vincent Street and Route 5. What would you like to do with that?
Table it till the next meeting, I guess, right?
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded to table until the next meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Anything else, or that's it?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion, second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. 8:59.
Have a good night.
Hey, Meg.